You're sexy. Is that unprofessional of me? I don't know, I'm sorry, but like, I'm just like, damn.
Mira, pisando estamos.
A cop's job is to uphold the law and protect us. But what happens when some cops abuse their authority to coerce, manipulate, and blackmail suspects into sexual favors? Here are 8 times when cops try to seduce suspects and how they got busted. Starting off with a Maryland police officer, Francesco Marlet, who dared to kiss a woman outside of his patrol car on the street in the daytime. In the video, filmed by Nelson Ochoa, the pair can be seen having the time of their life, with the officer wrapping his arms around the girl regardless of the children who can be heard playing in the background.
Como nos gustan los pies a nosotros. Mira, pisando estamos.
The officer is not satisfied, so now they decide to have some privacy and they get into the backseat of the patrol car.
¿Cómo andás? Vaya, para el carro, mira, para atrás la lleva, mira, ve. Ey, no, mira. Ey, yo. Quítate, man, ¿verdad? Quítate, Ale. Hey, yo.
The video quickly went viral on TikTok, causing the Prince George's County Police Department to suspend the officer as they continue to investigate the matter. He will definitely know his responsibility better than ever. Despite the unprofessionalism, this looked consensual, but the next cop is about to abuse his power in an unexpected way. Florida police officer Dustin Fetz turned a routine traffic stop particularly uncomfortable when he asked Zoe Brugger, the girl who was driving home after picking up her boyfriend from work, to shake out her bra. Zoe is pulled over for a broken headlight when Officer Fetz gets her out of her car after suspecting her of possessing drugs. Fetz also turned off the dash cam microphone to prevent any audible evidence. He then proceeds to do the most disgusting thing, asking her to put her shirt up and shake out her bra in order to see if she's hiding any illegal stuff in there. Zoe looks extremely uncomfortable and sad over her humiliation and starts crying, but it does not affect the officer in any way. Thankfully, Zoe was paid a settlement of $25,000 by the city of Lakeland, and Fetz was suspended for 4 days, which made many people unhappy, as it looked unjust, but it was quite fair as he lost his reputation. This next cop is the perfect example of when a pervert becomes a cop. Oklahoma police officer D'Angelo Reyes was on a casual investigation duty for a murder suspect when he encountered a woman and suddenly found her attractive enough to start flirting with her. During the investigation, he asked the woman personal questions like her name and residence, and even tells his fake name to her to prevent any suspicion, but the body cam gets it all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I heard some noise that direction, but I didn't.
Okay. Oh, do you live around here?
Yeah, I stay at the motel.
Oh, which one?
The studio.
Oh, okay. What's your name?
My name?
I'm Eric.
He just cannot stop himself right now and proceeds to hit on the woman in inappropriate ways, making her a little uncomfortable.
You're sexy. Is that unprofessional of me? I don't know, I'm sorry, but like, I'm just like, damn.
He then asks if she is free to meet him at night and if she has a room at the motel she is staying in. He even dares to turn the body camera off at this point.
You just chilling tonight? Okay. If I'm wandering around, where should I wander? At the studio star. Oh, Karoom? Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
After turning the body camera off, Reyes got the woman's number and ran her through the system, leading to a shocking discovery. The woman had a long criminal history, which Reyes saw as an opportunity to use against her. At the motel that night, he asked the woman to sleep with him, or he would put her back in jail. The poor woman had no choice but to follow what he said. At first, Reyes denied sleeping with her, but later confessed to it, saying it was consensual. He then resigned from his job and was charged with first-degree rape. Now let's see another pervert cop who didn't miss his chance when he got one. Kaylee Coates was with her boyfriend and family members when she was pulled over by Louisville Metro Police, and one of the officers, Tyler Gilnett, who was in training, when asked to search the woman, inappropriately placed his hands in her crotch area. Tyler proceeds to search her and can be seen putting hands between her legs really inappropriately, which makes her terribly embarrassed and uncomfortable before the senior officer notices and asks him to stop.
Hey, hold on. Stop. Time out. Go back there. Go back there.
That is when the senior officer admits Tyler's mistake to her boyfriend.
He had no idea what he's doing, I'll be honest with you.
Tyler was charged with official misconduct for this, and the woman was paid $50,000 to settle the lawsuit she filed against LMPD. Now, we will see how this female officer seduced a prison inmate in a strange turn of events.
I just want you to look at me sometimes and be like, damn, my woman's fine.
Fine as wine.
Prison officer Charlene O'Banion was interrogated after she was accused of having a relationship and sleeping with a prison inmate. During the interrogation, the detectives let her know that they are aware of the situation, which shocks her, making her realize that her crime is no more a secret.
We're notified of a possible improper relationship between you and Jacob Parker. So we're here for that, and I just kind of want to talk to you about it and get your side of that story.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Have you talked to him on any jail phone calls or anything like that?
No.
But it is no problem for her now, as she denies all the allegations and acts innocent. Little does she know that the detectives have everything they need to prove her wrong. They are just interviewing her to get to know her side of the story.
We never dated. We just...
Okay. What kind of conversations have you had with him since you started working here and he's been in the jail?
Talking about what happened after he got out.
And then the jail call recordings, have you been talking to him like while you're at home? Like he calls you from the jail while you're at home, or?
She completely makes up a story, thinking it would help her get away with the interrogation easily, but she definitely is wrong to think that.
And where would you think that this allegation would come from if there's nothing to it?
Well, I had a feeling this was coming. So there was an inmate named Coker, Justin Coker.
Okay.
He got out of here for, I don't know what period of time. And he tried to contact me on Facebook. He sent me a message and I blocked him on Facebook. And I guess one time Parker was going back to Pequot to use the bathroom and he was talking like at the window with me. And I guess Coker like didn't like that, which I had no contact with him or anything. And Parker had told me that he had gone up to him and was like, don't talk to her or something crazy like that.
So I'm just not trying to be rude here. I'm just, Why would you expect this conversation to come up from that? Like now, if that happened a few months ago.
The detective is fed up with her lies and fake stories and decides to show some evidence telling her about the jail call recordings of her. But even that doesn't affect her, and she keeps her calm while continuously lying about any recent interactions with the guy.
I don't know exactly how it started, like who it started from, but I was told that it was brought to somebody's attention, and then we looked at jail calls, and there's jail calls between you and Parker, and all that stuff's recorded. So I don't think you're being completely truthful. Well, I kind of know that you're not. And I'm not trying to be rude when I say that.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kind of trying to lay it out on the table for you. So can you kind of tell me what's going on?
I guess a few years ago, we talked, and then I ended up here, and then he ended up here. I didn't know he was here. I didn't, it wasn't anything like that.
The detective now moves on to talk about the more intimate details of their relationship to reveal the truth without wasting any more time. She confesses to having a little physical relationship with the guy, but tries to make the detective believe that all of this happened years back.
So when you say y'all talked, like kind of dated a little bit before you started working here?
No, like he was never like my boyfriend or anything. I just knew him from like the world.
Okay. So are y'all kind of talking in a sexual nature now that he's here?
Oh, no. Now that he's here, no.
Okay.
I mean, it's never been like phone sex or anything like that. Like, that's not. But like, we all joke around. Like, we all make like, you know, like that's what she said type things. But it's never like.
So what about some of these phone conversations?
No, not here or the phone. I
just mean conversations y'all are having on the phone.
No.
Since he's been in here.
Like.
Well, I'm not saying having phone sex. Talking about sexual acts. From what I'm listening to on the calls, I take it as that you've given him oral sex at some point. Is what I gather from these calls.
No, that was like in the world, but we never dated. We just.
Okay. But you've had physical relationship with him when y'all were both out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was before.
Okay.
But it was. We never like had sex or anything. It was just kind of like that.
You gave him oral sex. Yeah. Okay.
But that was before like I knew he would end up here or that I would end up here or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm sorry to get in your business, but the allegation's been made, so I want to have as much detail as I can
right.
to say either way.
Mm-hmm.
So when do you think that was about? I know it's going to be hard if it was a couple of years ago, but.
Let me think. I want to say like in the past 3 years.
So the only solution to get to know the truth now is to show the clearest evidence the detectives have, which is the jail calls between Charlene and the guy.
A recording of just the most recent call for us to listen to. And kind of my intent behind that is I still don't feel like you're coming out with the whole thing. So, like I said, I'm not trying to badger you or nothing. I just think that it's important that we know exactly what happened. So initially you said you kind of like played it off like you hardly knew him.
I mean, I didn't say I hardly knew him. I just.
Like, you kind of like stood there and thought.
Oh, right now,
like, now. Parker, yeah, I think he's in pot 6. Mm-hmm. But I just looked in the system. There was like almost 400 calls. So between y'all.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from? Kind of how it would seem from my point of view.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I hesitated a little bit,
but. Like I said, no judgment here. I just want to know the truth. That's it.
And I mean, yeah, you're right. I should just.
So before we go into all this, do you want to just tell me the truth?
Yes, I hesitated to admit that.
Hey, baby.
Hey, babe.
Baby, guess what?
What, babe?
I just won the blackjack game.
Yay.
I just won $30.
I got a lot of stuff to clean and get rid of before you come home. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking you. I was trying to make you think I have all these secret things.
Yeah, I bet you do.
What?
What?
What? What do you mean?
I don't know. You probably got this weird sex swing hanging from the ceiling. Kenneth probably thinks it's a swing set.
Oh, if I had that sex swing, you better believe I'd leave that sucker up for you.
Would you really?
Hell yeah.
You'd let me put you in it?
Yeah.
With a gag ball and everything?
I just want you to look at me sometimes and be like, damn, my woman's fine.
Fine as wine.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a live ass fucking head game. Oh my god.
It wasn't my best moments. I was just trying to get it done.
Are you in bed?
Don't even. get me thinking about that because it makes me so horny. Like, just going back and thinking about that.
It gets you horny?
Oh, yeah. When you felt me, I was like soaking through my clothes. You get very horny very easy. I always want to have sex.
Good.
Like, that's not even...
Not good.
I mean, I feel like I just, like, look at someone, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so fucking horny. No, like, of course, like, I only get horny for you.
But even after this, she has the audacity to deny the truth, which makes the detectives uncomfortable, and that is when the other detective takes over the interrogation, getting straightforward with Charlene, as he knows she will never admit the truth the easy way.
You kind of see how that sounds from like my point of view, like a more recent thing than 3 years ago. No questions coming to mind, Chris?
Yes. So I've noticed one thing, and I want you to understand this about both of us. Both of us are veteran homicide detectives, okay? I've been doing this a while. Okay. All right? You seem to have blanks in your memory when we get to certain details, but you remember being groped in the blowjob from 3 years ago. I find that hard to believe, okay? This is your one chance to be honest with us. Yes. Once we get up and walk out and we're done.
Finally, now she is about to admit the truth, maybe after being apprehended by the tone of the other detective. She finally breaks and realizes that she is going to lose her job, obviously.
And honesty is the only thing that's going to help you with us. Mm-hmm. So my advice to you right now is to be honest with us. Have y'all had any inappropriate contact, whether it's groping, blowjobs, vaginal, anal sex, anything, hand jobs? Yes, I am being vulgar to get a point across.
Yeah, no, it's not. None of that.
Then what is it?
I might have given him a blowjob in the back part of the...
In the back part of the quad? Okay. Mm-hmm. How long ago was that?
I don't know, a few months ago.
A few months ago? How long have you worked here?
Since April.
Since April this year? Mm-hmm. Was he already here?
He was already here.
Okay. Do you know how long he's been here?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
Not at the top of my head.
So a few months ago, you gave him a blowjob in the back of B. Is that correct? And that's B quad, correct? Were there any other witnesses to it? Okay.
No.
I'm just wondering because
like people standing around while I'm...
Well, you worked days, right?
Yes.
Were you working days at the time? Mm-hmm. That's why I'm asking. Was anyone around? Because I mean, everybody's up in daytime.
Right.
It's not like the jail.
Oh man, I'm gonna ask, but I feel like I know the answer. I'm losing my job.
So that's not really up to me. Internal Affairs is aware of the allegations, and they will probably their investigation is separate from ours.
That was not all. Losing the job was not the worst that happened to her, as she was sentenced to 100 days in prison. Hopefully, she's learning some life lessons there. Charlene was involved with one guy, but this next evil cop was involved in inappropriate physical activities with many underage children.
So right now, and I'll go over the behavior with you, we're investigating allegations that were made that you were communicating with a younger female on Snapchat and potentially some material might have been shared.
Officer Jalen Devin Fleer was arrested after a 4-month investigation into a case in which he was involved in inappropriate physical acts with underage girls, as well as attempts to meet up with minors for evil purposes. During the interrogation, Detective Kale and Detective Rodriguez explain the accusations made against him, but he answers very calmly in his defense. He is a little speechless when the detective provides some evident information. defensive statements, saying there is nothing wrong with that photo. But the detective has more to tell him, which gets him a little does not seem to want to admit his crimes anytime soon, but the detective does not give up and continues to ask him twisted questions, which might at some point help to get him to speak the truth. The detective calls in the lab technician to do the DNA swab test, which is the final phase of the interrogation before it ends.
Okay. Is your mom at your house right now?
She's not.
Okay. Your wife, she is at home?
She's at home.
Okay. Is it just your wife at home?
Just my wife.
Okay. And her name is... Okay.
Want me to send you black and white search now?
Yeah. Okay.
Just so that you can...
Is it going to be tonight right now?
Yeah.
So we're going to do this kind of systematically. The very first thing that we will do is, of course, the swab and the phone.
Yeah.
Do you have any other USB drives, anything like that on your person? I know sometimes for work we carry them around with us.
I have a USB in my locker, but that's just a work locker USB.
Okay. So we'll get that started.
Okay.
And then after that, we know that your employers want to speak with you. Again, we are investigating allegations. So they recognize that, but of course, you know that they have to take their action. We can't speak to that, but of course, they obviously want the opportunity to speak with you. Then, of course, we'll process the locker.
Found guilty of 18 felony and 2 misdemeanor charges. Fleer did not make a statement at his sentencing hearing. His attorney argued that Fleer should be sentenced to a term of just over 9 years, but the judge sentenced him to 12 years in state prison. Some people were satisfied with that, while others were just upset considering the severity of his crimes. For the last one, we have a similar case where a cop abused a woman during a traffic stop, and many others too.
Did your penis go in her mouth?
No, it did not.
Okay. Because DNA will clear it up.
Officer Daniel Holtzclaw was interrogated for a traffic stop where he reportedly abused a 57-year-old woman in the back of his patrol car. During the interrogation, the detective keeps a very calm and friendly tone while asking Daniel to tell the truth, as it can save him from big trouble, but he wishes not to speak the truth and get away without the consequences.
And here's the deal, too. We can fall on the sword and say I screwed up or something, but if we say we didn't do it, and then the DNA comes back and says he did it, then we have a huge problem.
The detective then finds out that the traffic stop on that day was totally unofficial and was not even recorded on the body camera, which is another big evidence. He then explains that traffic stop, and the detective gets his nervousness clearly along the way.
You had said, and we told you that there was a traffic stop, that somebody made some allegations against an officer. They don't know the officer's name, none of that. And you said that you made a traffic stop after work, but you didn't call it in.
I didn't call it.
Where was that?
It was about Northeast 50th and Lincoln, just to the west.
Okay. Tell me about that stop.
I was going westbound on Northeast 50th, probably a block just east of Lincoln. I see a red Grand Prix, or Grand Am, in my right lane, in the outside lane. I'm in the inside lane. The car swerves, and so at the time I'm thinking, okay, it's probably a drunk person, or maybe got excited because they saw a cop. So I kind of fall behind it, kind of drifting just a little bit, not crossing lane lines, nothing crazy. So I lighted up because at first the traffic violation I saw at first when it swerved, and then made contact. It was a black female. Asked for license and insurance. Stated that she didn't have insurance, gave me an ID. At the time I'm like, do you have a valid insurance or a valid license? She said no. I told her, I just got off work. I mean, what's the deal? You know, why are you swerving? And she says, I'm just trying to go home to Ann Arbor-ish on the northwest side of...
Do you remember her name? It was on the description.
I don't.
Okay. Do you make traffic stops normally after work?
I don't, but in that case I saw her swerve and whatnot, so
I mean, me, I don't.
Felt.
After I get off work.
I know. I mean, people, cops say that as have a, you know, whatnot, to have the vision, whatever. But I felt like I needed to make that traffic stop.
Okay. How was she? Was she respectful? Was she?
She felt like she was nervous and whatnot, and I'm like, why are you nervous? And she was even crying. I'm like, why are you crying? Why are you nervous? Whatnot? And she's just like, I don't know. I'm just nervous because you're a cop and I got pulled over. I'm like, nothing you have to be nervous about. And I told her, I'm like, I don't really want to take you to jail for no SDL or anything. I just got off work. I'm tired. So, with my officer, courtesy or whatnot, and said I'd go get that taken care of tomorrow.
According to him, everything he did during that traffic stop was perfect and consensual.
Put her out of the car?
Yes.
Okay. And put her in the back of your car?
Yes.
Okay. Any problems there?
No, she was cooperative. Didn't give me any problems or whatnot.
Okay. And then you searched, did you run her through Unit 800?
I didn't.
You didn't? So, did you run her on your MDT?
No, I didn't. All my stuff as far as that, because I didn't even call it in and say it was a traffic stop, my computer was off and everything as well.
Did you shut it off?
I just shut it off,
work?
yeah. On the way, on 50th, I turned it off right before the traffic stop, basically.
When you put her in your car, did you pat search her?
When I came around, I was like, lift up your shirt. Is there anything on you? Anything as far as your waistband or anything like that? She said no. And then I put her in the vehicle and went from there. Asked her
Did your hands go on her at all?
I backhanded her on as far as the side.
Where on her body? Tell me. You backhanded
her waist, and the back portion. I didn't touch her or anything, but the back portion of the waist. And then she lifted it up like right here, and there's nothing.
Did she lift it up like this?
No.
Okay. So she never, like, went, ooh, nothing,
No.
exposed her breast or anything like that.
She asked me if I was like, no, it's okay.
She asked you,
You want to search me, I'm like, no, it's okay.
so she never like put her hands on the car and you.
No.
The interrogator gets more specific about the details, asking every possible question that can make him confess.
Well, it sounds like this is the lady, I mean, this is the deal where she's the complaining party.
Okay.
Okay. And she's making some sexual allegations, obviously, because Strums is working it.
Right. What did she say?
Well, was there anything? An accidental touch, anything?
If she thought it when I pass searched her, but it was nothing as far as I felt like I would do anything as far as sexual or anything like that. And for my safety, I just checked to see the weapons or anything.
And
to make clear, I didn't touch her butt, but the waist side and whatnot. If you would like me to do it for you to show you.
No, and I'm fine with it, and you have every right to do that. She's saying that you made her lift up her shirt, and when she lifted up her shirt, she exposed her breasts.
No.
Did you ever see
I asked her, is there anything inside your bra? And she said no. So I was like, okay. And she said, you want me to show you? And that's the time I said, no, you don't need to do that.
She said she was doing this. When you said, is there anything inside your bra? And she was, well, no, I don't have anything like that. Did she do that?
Yeah, she did, but I didn't look or anything like that.
Right.
And then she was like, do you want me to show you? I was like, no.
She said when she said, do you want me to show you? You said, yeah, and she went,
woo. No, I didn't.
But could she have been, woo, flashing you? And now you don't want to tell me because you're afraid you're going to get in trouble?
No, when I told her no, I said no.
Then she didn't go, yeah,
No.
you know, because sometimes drunk girls are
having a good time.
Yeah, and partying down. And let's face it,
I've already heard stories about officers
people
and
want,
whatnot.
they
so
want officers for hubbies or whatever.
I said no.
But you could have said no. But I'm asking you if she flashed you anyways.
I didn't see her. I didn't see her.
no
I didn't see.
What about pants?
Nothing in her pants as far as that concerned. She was wearing tight jeans. So
She said she pulled them down.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see her pulling down?
I didn't see her pulling down pants.
Could she have done it when you were up searching the car?
She could have. I didn't
Did she have them on?
I didn't have her handcuffed or anything.
When you came back to the car and got her out, were her pants fastened? Were they?
Yeah, everything.
They were up and.
Everything was still intact.
So you never saw her pull her pants down?
No, I didn't.
Another detective then provides all the evidence he has, which starts to pressure Holtzclaw, no matter how hard he is trying to keep his calm and cool.
We knew you were on that stop.
Right.
We knew you were there. And we can watch a whole lot of actions being performed while you were there. Okay? And that's why she was trying to give you every out on the whole thing.
Right.
Okay? Now, is there any reason at all, even from whatever angle, because, you know, it takes a little bit to clear up those videos.
Right.
But any reason why your penis would be out?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Now, in doing this, you know how SANE exams work, and I ain't got to explain about DNA or anything like that.
Right.
Now, I didn't say you had sex with her.
Right.
Okay. But getting a blowjob, okay, that is a different story.
Right.
Okay. You see my concern here.
I'm just listening to you, sir.
I know,
Yes,
but I'd rather listen to you and you start talking.
That's all I have, sir.
Are we gonna get something from the SANE exam?
Go with the SANE exam.
Do you understand that you don't have to full-blown ejaculate to get something out of the SANE exam?
Right.
We can get skin cells, we can get pre-ejaculate, we can do all that and still get DNA.
Probably not necessarily going to remember the name. Her name is Terry Morris. Okay, black female. Supposedly you promised her a ride to the city rescue mission. This ring a bell?
No.
You did a traffic stop with her. She thought you ran her for warrants. Clicking. Drove her around.
No. Name doesn't. I don't recall a name like that.
She's claiming the same thing. The exact same thing.
The detective keeps repeating the same question, hoping to get a different answer at some point, but instead gets frustrated by Daniel's continuous denial.
Did your pants come unzipped, unbuttoned, anything while you were standing right there?
No.
CSI is processing your car right now.
Right.
And when we stepped out, they found some pubic hairs right in here. Could they be yours?
No, that's not. I didn't pull my out. I didn't do anything right there.
Did she?
No.
But do you think they could be?
No, it's not. No. Nothing on mine.
Your penis couldn't be?
No.
Right there?
No.
Has your penis ever been out by your car?
While I'm working? No.
Not working?
No.
Have you ever had sex in the backseat of your car?
I have not.
Because, I mean, some people do. You know, I mean, I'm not saying forced sex, consensual sex.
Right.
So your penis has never been in your backseat?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible any of this DNA shares?
No. It's not. That's, I would like to go at it. Not my DNA.
Are those pubes going to be yours?
No. No.
Are you worried about it?
This whole situation.
But his game is now coming to an end when the detective comes back after talking to his girlfriend, whom he claimed to have slept with, but she said the opposite.
You created some more work. Fixing to go. I just talked to Karen.
Okay.
She said she was asleep when you got home and you did not try to have sex, and you did not have sex. She said you didn't. And I asked her, could you have been asleep? And you kind of, whoa, no. And she said no. You did not try to have sex.
As much as I don't want to involve her, I tried to have sex with her and she was asleep. Carrie goes to sleep pretty early, about 9, 10 at the late.
Okay, but she would know if you tried. I'm a woman.
I know.
And my husband comes home in the middle of the night and I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been asleep. You said you twirled around her vagina.
I did.
And you put it in a little bit and then she said, I'm tired. No.
I did.
She would remember that to tell me.
Shoot. Maybe.
She said you did not try to have sex.
And it's more personal because it's Carrie, but I did try to have sex with Carrie. I did.
I don't know what to say. I mean, because it just looks like I just caught you in a lie. And now I don't know what to believe.
I'm telling you.
I don't know what to believe.
Okay.
Because you tell me this, I go to verify it. She tells me the opposite, and now I'm wondering what you're telling the truth about.
Maybe because she doesn't know what the heck's going on.
No, she doesn't. I didn't tell her.
And I'm glad, but detectives calling her, any other officer asking her a question like that.
I know.
She made me scared. And I don't want to involve her, but
she's involved
that's
because
my girlfriend. That's
you need her involved for you.
Right.
But now she's given the story that you're not giving.
I'm telling you, I try to have sex with Carrie.
During the court proceedings, Holtzclaw can be seen crying, knowing what is going to happen to him. He bursts into tears when the verdict is being read.
For order, this is in the District Court of Oklahoma County, State of Oklahoma, the State of Oklahoma versus Daniel K. Holtzclaw, case number CF 2014-5869. Verdict, count 1, sexual battery. We, the jury, impaneled and sworn in the above entitled cause, do upon our oaths find as follows. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery and set punishment at 8 years. Count 2, procuring lewd exhibition. Not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 3, burglary in the first degree. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of burglary in the first degree, nor lesser included. Count 4, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition, and punishment is set at 5 years. Count 5, procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition, and punishment is set at 5 years. Count 6, defendant is not guilty of the crime of stalking. Count 7, Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 8. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 20 years. Count 9. Rape in the first degree. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree. Count 10. Forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 16 years. Count 11. Rape in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years. Count 12. Forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy. Count 13. Sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 14. Sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 15. Procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition, and punishment is set at 5 years. Count 16. Forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 16 years. Count 17. Forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy. Count 18. Procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 19. Procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 20. Rape in the first degree. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree. Count 21. Sexual battery. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 22. Sexual battery. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 23. Sexual battery. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of sexual battery. Count 24. Forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy. Count 25. Rape in the second degree by instrumentation. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of rape in the second degree. Count 26. Indecent exposure. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of indecent exposure. Count 27. Forcible oral sodomy. Defendant is guilty of the crime of forcible oral sodomy, and punishment is set at 16 years. Count 28. Rape in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years. Count 29. Rape in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years. Count 30. Sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 31. Rape in the second degree by instrumentation. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the second degree, and punishment is set at 12 years. Count 32. Rape in the first degree. Defendant is guilty of the crime of rape in the first degree, and punishment is set at 30 years. Count 33. Sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 34. Sexual battery. Defendant is guilty of the crime of sexual battery, and punishment is set at 8 years. Count 35. Defendant procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Count 36. Procuring lewd exhibition. Defendant is not guilty of the crime of procuring lewd exhibition. Let me ask the jury, is this your verdict, so say you all? Mr. Holtzclaw, this jury finds you guilty of the various counts. You will be remanded to the custody of the Oklahoma County Sheriff for formal sentencing set January 21st, 2016 at 10 o'clock a.m. All right, you have a seat.
Holtzclaw was eventually tried and found guilty of the sexual assault of 8 African-American women who were all classed as vulnerable. He was sent to prison for a 263-year sentence, thankfully. In conclusion, the ones supposed to enforce the law are not always loyal to their job and commit some of the sickest crimes ever, as we have witnessed. Do you think these cops deserve to get a similar job again? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe for more content.